Welcome to the UCM Interface Bible Study dito sa 702 DZAS FEBC Radio TV. Agapay ng Sambayanan. Isa itong conversational expository Bible study program hatid sa inyo ng UCM Interface, ang Young Adults Ministry ng Union Church of Manila. We do our best to study context and let Scripture speak for itself. Ang programang ito ay isang teaching ministry ng Union Church of Manila, a church of many nations committed to making disciples who are transformed by the gospel of Jesus Christ.
Hello, ako po si Maggie, isa pong atleta taga San Juan po.
Hello, Jericho, IT, Trade Surveillance.
At ako naman si Rainier, Young Adult Ministry Director sa Union Church of Manila.
Alright, and this is Gutch, commercial voice artist. Alright, so before we get to our discussion, let's go to our reading. 3, 2, 1, and...
Luke 12, 35 to 48. Stay dressed for action, and keep your lamps burning, and be like men who are waiting for their master to come home from the wedding feast, so that they may open the door to him at once when he comes and knocks. Blessed are those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly, I say to you, he will dress himself for service and have them recline at table, and he will come and serve them. If he comes in the second watch or in the third and finds them awake, blessed are those servants. But know this, that if the master of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have left his house to be broken into. You also must be ready, for the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. Peter said, Lord, are you telling this parable for us or for all? And the Lord said, Who then is the faithful and wise manager, whom his master will set over his household to give them their portion of food at the proper time? Blessed is that servant whom his master will find so doing when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will set him over all his possessions. But if that servant says to himself, my master is delayed in coming, and begins to beat the male and female servants, and to eat and drink and get drunk, the master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he does not know, and will cut him in pieces, and put him with the unfaithful. And that servant who knew his master's will, but did not get ready or act according to his will receive a severe beating. But the one who did not know, and did what deserved the beating, will receive a light beating. Everyone to whom much was given, of him much will be required. And from him to whom they entrusted much, they will demand the more.
Grabe. Mga beating na nangyayari.
May chinap-chap.
Ayun,
diba?
chop.
Okay, alam niyo naman itong bansa natin, pinuputakte ng lahat na lang ng klase ng natural disaster. Buhay na ba kayo ng ondoy? Siguro naman.
Yes.
Buhay na buhay.
O, diba? Okay. Mula nung panahong yon, parang yung mga Pilipino bigla nagkaroon na ng awareness sa disaster preparedness.
Yeah.
Parang mas nagkaroon na. Dati kasi hindi natin yan sineseryoso. Ngayon, at ang gusto kong isipin ulit natin kung ano yung mga mahahalagang bagay na dapat nating tandaan when we are interpreting a parable. Inuuna lagi natin yung context ng inaaral nating parable. Meron kasing 3 parables na nauna dyan. Bago tayo makarating dito sa verse 35, from verses 1 to 34, merong 3 parables at saka tipong meron siyang mensahe.
Nothing is covered up that will not be revealed or hidden that will not be known. Addressing hypocrisy to di ba?
Or it's also addressing who you should fear. Di ba? You should fear God rather than human beings, rather than men. Yung sumunod na parable, 13 to 21, what is that about?
Ito yung parable of the rich retiree.
So si Rich Retiree, ang sabi niya dito, kampante siya na nagtago ako ng goods.
Ganda ng retirement plan ko.
May retirement plan siya for 401k. Kaso ang nangyari, sabi, this night your soul is required of you.
Oh,
And the things you have prepared, whose will they be?
So ano tinuturo kaya dito?
So, para kanino yung inimbak mo?
Hindi ikaw yung may hawak sa future mo. Right.
Tapos, yung sumunod doon sa 22 to 34, tungkol kaya siya saan?
Itong buong 22 to 34 naka-highlight sa akin.
Do not be anxious.
Do not be anxious.
Oo.
Magtiwala ka.
Magtiwala ka, matutong magtiwala sa Diyos. Oo.
Yung combo nitong dalawang kwento na to, putting prosperity in its place. Putting material things kung ano ba siya as a priority.
Okay, this is a teaching about the future. At tuwing merong ganyang pagtuturo tungkol sa eschatology, ang Bible ay hindi masyado siyang concerned in informing us of the details about the future. Parang palagi ang emphasis niya ay yung preparedness. Diba? Yung pinaghahanda tayo na dapat maayos ang ating paglilingkod sa Panginoon ngayon.
Right.
So, ang preparedness natin ay nangyayari ngayon. At anong gagawin natin ngayon habang naghahanda tayo sa pagbabalik ng Panginoon? Diba? So, ito yung konteksto. Mas malinaw ito ngayon dito sa ating parable. Ang titingnan natin, 35 to 40, yun muna, no? Dito sa ating parable, merong agad na tinuro ang Panginoon eh. Sabi niya, be dressed, ready for service, and keep your lamps burning, like servants waiting for their master to return from a wedding banquet, so that when he comes and knocks, they can immediately open the door for him. Ano ba ibig sabihin ng be dressed, ready for service? Siyempre, kung tayo yan, ang isipin natin, paano mo ito ilalarawan? Alam mo, napakaliteral niyan. Yung robe mo, ipapasok mo siya sa ilalim ng belt mo.
Okay.
Bakit mo raw ipapasok or you will tuck your robe under the belt?
Para makatakbo.
Makagalaw.
Oo, para makatawa. Pero bakit?
Kasi mahirap gumalaw pag nakalaylay lang yung robes mo eh. Hindi ka makakapagtrabaho ng maayos, hindi ka makakagalaw.
Minsan parang feel mo madadapa ka kapag tumakbo ka ng nakalaylay lang yung palda.
So yun ang ginagawa ko, yun yung kanilang paghahanda, no? Itatak nila yung kanilang robes kasi nga mahaba para hindi sila matisod, para mas maganda yung paggalaw nila, mas mabilis ang paggalaw. Keep your lamps burning. Bakit daw? O anong ibig sabihin nun?
Hanggang gabi, nagbabantay.
Nag-aabang ka talaga. Kailangan lagi maliwanag yung bahay. Kasi, kumbaga, saan daw manggagaling daw yung master mo?
From a wedding feast.
Kung galing siyang wedding feast, what's unpredictable about it?
Kung kailan siya uuwi.
Hindi mo alam yun. Para pagdating ng master, alam niya na hindi siya katok ng katok at walang magpapapasok sa kanya. Kung may-ari ka ng bahay.
Nakakahiya din para dun sa master, di ba?
Oo naman. Oo. Pero tingnan nyo, napakaganda ng twist in verse 37. Meron nangyari na hindi inaasahan.
Blessed are those servants whom the master finds awake when he comes. Truly I say to you, he will dress himself for service and have them recline at table, and he will come and serve them. It is the master who will come and serve the servants.
Grabe, no? Pero alam natin, di ba, sa pag-interpret natin ng parable, hinahanap natin yung points of reference. So, mukhang alam na natin kung sino yung servants. Ito yung mga disciples, followers ni Christ. At yung master ay ang Panginoon. Pero kita mo, pagdating niya, iba yung papakita niya. Pero bakit kaya baligtad dito? Bakit may twist? So instead of the servants serving the master, it's the master serving his faithful servant.
Nagme-make kasi siya ng sense pagka nirelate mo na siya dun sa point of reference. Pero kung basahin siya as is, mapapatanong ka talaga bakit?
Ang weird, di ba? Paglilingkuran ka ng master mo. Kasi talagang he will dress himself ready to serve. Tapos, mag-recline kayo dyan. Ibig sabihin, papakainin pa niya. Bakit pagsisilbihan niya?
Yun nga.
Strange.
Yeah, very strange. Tama yung sinabi ni Meggy na thinking about the scene without the points of reference, it's just a strange thing. Pero of course, if you look at the bigger picture about the washing of the feet, the king who came to serve, medyo mas nagigets. Pero yun nga, sobrang plot twist lang talaga yung part na to.
Sobra to, no? Oo. Sige nga, let's try to flesh this out even more. Bakit kaya ganun ang gustong ipakita dito sa parable na to? Gusto ko nating makita din dito, ano ba yung palaging pinapakita ni Jesus sa disciples niya?
Anong klaseng master siya?
Kung anong klaseng master siya. Ngayon, kung alam mong ganito yung master mo, and this is how he treats his so-called servants, ikaw, anong dapat mong palaging isa sa puso at isa sa isip?
Yung karakter nung pinagsisilbihan ko.
Na dapat ako ay habang naghihintay sa kanya, ganito rin ako. Diba? Kasi ang palagi nating, when we talk about the future, the end of time, ganyan, ang preoccupation palagi natin, kaya ang dami nating speculations when and how he will come, ganyan, di ba? Pero iba yung gusto niya ipakita dito. And titingnan natin, saan ba ako dinadala ng relasyon ko sa Panginoon? And the answer to that, as given in the parable, is what? Cultivating a servant heart.
Which makes sense kasi as you go through the story, may part here of serving and what it looks like when you're not serving.
Kaya it's, we can move to verse 38 if 37 is already clear to you. It will be good for those servants whose master finds them ready, even if he comes in the middle of the night or toward daybreak. Ang readiness pala dito, hindi lang yung kanilang physical preparedness for the master's return, but it always has something to do with who the master is and how that motivates, how that impacts, how that transforms me now. Ganito pa rin dito Sa verse 37, binigay na sa atin yung picture, what the master is actually like. Kaya pala, ako din, I really want to prepare for his coming. Kaso ang hinahanap natin yung, ano bang petsa kaya ang pagdating ni Jesus? Ano kaya yung mga signs? Namula na yung,
Blood
may
moon,
red moon na, ayan,
And even dito sa 38, yung if he comes in the second watch or in the third.
Oo, ano yan? Yan kasi yung reckoning ng time.
Overtime na, parang gano'n na ang haba na ng paghihintay.
Yung Roman reckoning of time, there are 4 watches. So it's 6 to 9 in the evening, 9 to 12, 12 to 3, and then 3 to 6. Yung Jewish reckoning of time is 3 watches, 6 to 10, 10 to 2, and then 2 to 6.
Grabe nun, di ba? Parang sobrang late na naghihintay.
Oo, late na.
Oo, di ba? Pero
wala silang paki
mahal na mahal nila yung master nila
Oo, kasi ganun siya Ganun din naman siya sa amin di ba?
Tsaka yung ini-impress ni Jesus dito na alam niyang mahirap yung paghihintay.
Oo.
Feels long. Kaya blessed are you if you're one of the servants who are waiting that long.
And what will sustain you as you're waiting for the coming of your master? At tayo rin, as we wait for the coming of Jesus, what will sustain us is the heart of a servant. Ready, always ready to serve. Ang layo dun sa mga gusto nating mangyari na, uy, blood moon, uy, may lindol, ang daming signs, may gera, may ganito. Hindi yun ang binibigyang emphasis ng Bible. Yung puso ng tao ang binibigyan niya ng emphasis. Kaya sabi niya, but understand this, if the owner of the house had known at what hour the thief was coming, he would not have let his house be broken into. This has nothing to do anymore with the previous parable.
Nag-iba yung reference points Siningit niyang line na to.
Parang ano lang to this is just something very practical. Handa ka lang palagi. Kaya nga, this sa verse 40. Ito na yung punchline na sinasabi natin, di ba? Ano ang main point ng parable na to? You also must be ready because the Son of Man will come at an hour when you do not expect Him. Yun yung main point. At ang tanong, handa ka na ba?
And hindi ang tanong is, are you ready? You also must be ready. It's a command. I think yung ina-address dun sa, if you look at chapter 12 verse 1, when so many thousands of the people had gathered together that they were trampling one another. Peter was qualifying, no? So, para sa amin ba tong mga disciples or para sa lahat?
Applicable lang ba to sa amin na kasama mo ngayon?
Na nakikinig din sa'yo, who are also your followers. Kaya tinuloy natin kung paano sinagot ni Jesus. Yan. Ang pagkasagot niya, another parable.
Question din yung sagot.
Question. Pero meron na siyang binibigyan ng emphasis.
The faithful and wise manager.
At ano ginagawa niya? He will be
Set over his household.
may service na ginagawa at saka very specific at kailangan dinideliver niya to, he delivers his tasks faithfully.
Yes.
Itong pangalawang parable na to, kung mapapansin natin later, is an extension of the first one. Kasi yung una, faithfulness Pero dito, biglang may pinasok na agad na responsibility. Diba? Hindi lang to basta faithful in waiting, serving. Dito, merong servant. Ang ginamit kasi dito, in charge of his servant. So it's more like a manager, no?
Truly I say to you, he will set him over all his possessions.
Uy.
Oh, wow. So ano pa mangyayari?
Manager of the entire house.
May promotion pa, no? Ipopromote si kuya. Kasi natuwa yung master. So in verse 45,
Ang tagal nung pagbalik nung master ko. Might as well, di ba? Since ako naman yung nasa tuktok, ako naman yung boss. Pagsamantalaan ko na yung male and female servants. Tapos, banjing, eat and drink and get drunk.
ay, sarap ng buhay. May nangyari.
The master of that servant will come on a day when he does not expect him, and at an hour he does not know, and will cut him in pieces and put him with the unfaithful.
Kung natatandaan nyo kasi yung kay Abraham, yung covenant ni Yahweh kay Abraham,
Yes.
but he saw it in a vision. Yung large animals, they were cut in half. Tapos, yung mga smaller animals, wala, pinapatay-patay na lang siya. Pero, kasi ganito yun, ito yung kanilang ritual. And this is not unique to Israelites or to Hebrews. Practice ito nung
Near East.
in the Near East, ganito yung kanilang practice when they are making a covenant. Ang gagawin nila, so hinati yung katawan ng mga hayop, di ba? Tapos, both parties, lalakad sila dun sa gitna, dun sa blood path. If you break our agreement, nakikita mo yung mga pira-pirasong hayop, mga hayop na yan, ganyan ang mangyayari sa'yo kapag hindi mo sinunod yung covenant natin. So, ibig sabihin, itong language na to is drawing from a covenantal language. You have broken our agreement. If you don't have the heart of a servant, that is betrayal.
And that servant who knew his master's will, but did not get ready or act according to his will receive a severe beating.
Diba? Because you have broken your covenant with God.
So, wait, just to clarify lang. So, when he said, cut him in pieces, hindi to literally slice him in half.
Well, you're going to be punished. It's not literal. It's using language that points us back to how covenants were made.
Okay. See,
What is much clearer here?
yung thread niyan is yung paghihintay means serving, and that means may responsibility, and that also means may accountability.
Meron. Yes. At saka, I think lalo pang pinalakas yung konsepto ng faithfulness dito because of the, how it borrowed the covenantal language, cut into pieces. Unfaithful ka kapag ganun. So now, continuing, okay, let's finish our parable. We'll now go to verse 48.
But the one who did not know and did what deserved a beating will receive a light beating. Everyone to whom much was given, of him much will be required. And from him to whom they entrusted much, they will demand the more.
Oh,
Yun na yun, no? Punchline ulit.
yun yung punchline.
So may two parties dito. The servant who knew the master's will but did not get ready, medyo matindi yung beating niya. But the one who did not know but still did what deserved the beating, light naman yung beating niya. Walang takas, we can't claim ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd still be punished anyway.
It's the servant's responsibility to know the master's will.
Yeah. Pero ang pinaka-punchline niya yung pangalawa kasing sentence. Everyone who has been given much, much will be demanded. And from the one who has been entrusted with much, much more will be asked.
Oh my.
Matindi na ngayon dito yung responsibility.
Sabi nga ng propeta, di ba? With great power comes great responsibility.
Propeta ba talaga?
Propeta talaga eh.
So wow. Parang may dalawang punchline dito no?
Yeah, but I think the main one is the last
40.
sentence.
Yeah,
parang nasaklawan niya lahat eh.
Which also goes to the number 3, ano yung response that he is asking from his audience and also from us. And it's this one eh. Everyone to whom much was given, of him much will be required. And from him to whom they entrusted much, they will demand the more.
And remember, this was Jesus' response to the question of Peter.
Sa amin lang ba o pati sa general crowd?
That's the wrong focus. Hindi mo na naman nakuha, Pedro. May bagay na dapat ka pang mas makita. Kasi itong disciples niya, ang bigat naman talaga ng responsibilities din di ba? Eyewitnesses, they received all the teachings of Jesus. Mabigat ang responsibility nila. And Jesus is preparing his disciples for his imminent departure. Nasa na naman ba ang mga puso ninyo? Ano bang gagawin nyo? Will you occupy yourselves with God's business? Or will you take advantage of the seeming delay? Are you going to waste the opportunities? Are you going to be like the rich fool dun sa naunang parable?
Pang good time na lang, parang gano'n.
Oo, ganun na lang
buhay
ba?
na to, para sa akin naman to lahat to Magsasawa ba tayo sa kakahintay?
Right.
We have to be prepared.
Kasi alam mo tayo tingnan mo tayo, anong responsibility natin as believers. Ito, meron tayong maliit na niche dito sa kingdom ni God through our podcast. Paano natin gagamitin ito to serve the body of Christ? Sa halip na pagsilbihan natin ang ating mga sariling interes. Are we going to be found engaged in faithful service? Kung ano man yan, kung ano man yung pinagagawa ng Panginoon sa'yo.
And actually, yung sinasabi mo, Rainier, about the podcast, di ba sabi nga na James 3:1, yung, not many of you should become teachers, my brothers, for you know that we who teach will be judged with greater strictness. So,
See?
to those who have more will be expected. Everyone to whom much was given, much more will be required. Just like dito, James 3:1. So, parang,
Right.
ano ba itong napasok natin, ano?
Oo. Last episode na po namin. Ayaw na po namin magturo.
Laki pala ng responsibilidad.
Just imagine nga, di ba? I think we've also mentioned this na it's not just us talking on microphones and everything. It's a witness It's our witness And just think of the scenario of like, nakita yung video ko online na nagro-road rage ako, may sinapak akong tao or something. Parang gano'n na, tapos nakuha sa video. Tapos parang, uy, yan yung nagpa-podcast ng Bible study, di ba? What great damage that would be, not just to this podcast, but also to the witness of the gospel.
Yung it's better for you to have a millstone tied on your neck.
Right,
Yeah.
right,
It's
right.
for all Christians na people are watching. We have a responsibility. We have a great responsibility.
Kaya nga ang ganda ng pagkakatama ni Jesus dun sa, how he changed the focus. Instead of addressing the question of Peter, mas binigyan niya ng tamang direksyon. Peter was focused on the wrong thing. He was asking the wrong question. Kaya sinagot niya ni Jesus by letting him know, wait, look, you are my disciple. You have a huge responsibility. Don't you abuse your privileges. Don't you abuse your authority. Be a servant. Magkakadugtong lahat yan
Which is also yung reaction to the way that the Pharisees were handling their disciples. They lord it over the others. Parang may baga ganun
And they're all about money and power.
Kausap rin ni Jesus dito sa audience na to, I think. Sa beginning ng chapter 12, it's about the hypocrisy of the Pharisees. So, may parang ganun din na lahat ng mga yan, may accountability yan.
Di ba? Siyempre, the importance of service over position. May mga papel tayong ginagampanan sa kingdom, pero wag lumaki ang ulo naman, Tandaan na naglilingkod lang tayo.
Okay, so that's the parable. Now we'll move on to, we've discussed a bit of the so what already, pero ano bang mga natutunan nyo sa episode na to?
Yung command of you also must be ready as it is fitting for a servant. When we call ourselves servants, natural lang na dapat ganun yung ginagawa natin, di ba? Kumbaga, it's not something out of the ordinary, kumbaga. It's not something to be placarded or uploaded, di ba, na pinagmamalaki natin na ganito ganire ginagawa natin. Hindi kasi natural yun sa servant na nagsuserve.
Yes, tama. Hindi to special
So,
ministry.
yes, that's exactly the point.
Hindi to special calling.
It's a special calling.
Everybody has to serve. Or as a reaction to Jesus, we will serve one way or the other.
Yeah. Yung sa akin, yung reminder, which is also found in Luke, in the other Gospels as well. But let me read Luke 22. Medyo nabanggit ito ni Gutch kanina, but I'll just start from verse 27. For who is greater, the one who is at the table or the one who serves? Is it not the one who is at the table? But I am among you as one who serves. Diba?
Grabe, this is the character of our God, of our Master.
Yes, the one who serves. Mahihiya naman ako kung mag-aasal na Panginoong may lupa ako. Parang ganun. Hindi.
Oo, diba? Siya na nga yung king who came to serve, tapos ako magpapaka-bossy pa sa ibang tao. Alam mo yung ganong klase?
Walang lugar para sa ganun. Kaya nga walang lugar for narcissism. Sa kaharian ng Panginoon, walang lugar dyan.
May mga nagpa-power trip, mga ganon.
Oh yes, ego tripping. Oo. Oo.
King who came to serve, tapos mapapower trip tayo.
Hindi pwede. At makakalungkot, we know leaders na nagiging ganyan. So, magandang reminder talaga to na magpakumbaba lang tayo dahil yung mismong Panginoon natin, yung sinisilbihan natin, grabe magsilbi. Binigay nga niya yung buong buhay niya para sa atin eh.
Sa akin, naalala ko yung dati kong boss. Doon nung kilala niyo siya, si Gina Lopez.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
yeah.
Boss ko siya dati. And then, kasi siya yung type na boss na tipong talagang magsuserve talaga siya. Kahit sa mga tao na siguro hindi naman tinitignan ng mataas ng iba, talagang isuserve niya yung mga tao. Tapos, literal na galing siya ng States, nilipad siya papuntang Pilipinas, mag-helicopter siya papuntang isang isla, tapos isuserve niya yung mga tao. Parang ganun. Parang wala kang masasabi sa kanya. Kami bilang mga empleyado niya, parang mahiya naman kami kung kami yung mga tatamad-tamad,
Right,
diba? Kapamilya niya yung may-ari ng network, pero ganyan siya, diba? All the more ito si Kristo na kung makita natin, siya kayang gumawa ng buong mundo eh. Tapos, siya yung pinahako sa krus, tapos siya yung dumaan sa ganyang klaseng paghihirap. Sino ba tayo para mag-complain dun sa mga sitwasyon natin? Tao lang tayo sa umpisa, siya Diyos siya. Tapos siya yung dumaan sa ganyan. So, ano pang pwede nating sabihin, diba? Kung mismong creator dumaan sa ganun, diba?
Yes,
And
yes.
yung pangalawa, kasi itong pagiging servant, nakatatak to sa isip natin parate. Pero ako parang minsan kini-question ko yung sarili ko. Kasi okay, gusto ko mag-serve, ganyan. Pero minsan parang iniisip ko na yung service, para kanino ba talaga to? Alam mo yun, minsan yung mga intention natin, ako yung mga intentions ko, confession na nagmi-mix up. Sinasabi ko para kay God ko to lahat ginagawa. Pero sometimes nakahalo dyan, nagsisik na pala ako ng approval ng ibang tao.
Right.
Alam mo yun? Para kanino mo ba talaga yan ginagawa?
Oo, kasi minsan yung nakakarinig ako nung mga ibang tao na ang sarap kasi sa pakiramdam talaga tumulong eh. Paano kung hindi na masarap sa pakiramdam? Tutulong ka pa ba? Naghihintay ka ba talaga ng ganong klaseng reward that you feel good? That's why you're helping? Just to feel good about yourself. Pero I don't think Jesus ever said on the cross, "Oh, Father, I feel so good.
Why have you
This is
forsaken me?
great."
Sinabi niya, di ba?
Hindi naman ganun eh. Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani.
Sa garden, di ba? Drops of blood, sweating.
In defense naman, benefit of the doubt naman, it could also be na parang because the Lord would transform our hearts to also be joyful to what He wants us to be joyful for. So baka naman parang ganun nga na by self-sacrificial love and service, nagkakaroon ng joy even through suffering. It could be just benefit of the doubt lang. That's
Right. Kasi minsan kasi yung service, masakit na talaga yan, nakakapagod yan. At saka you'll be offended by people, you'll not be appreciated. Kaya hindi ko alam kung hanggang saan mo masasabing, ang sarap sa feeling, grabe.
Eventually, hindi yun yung magiging basihan.
Hindi talaga yun eh.
Kasi matetest yun eh.
Yes.
Yung sa akin, I don't know kung tama yung pagkakabasa ko, pero yung natutunan ko dito is that I think the ones who will have the harshest eternal punishment are not unbelievers eh. It will be believers who did not take Jesus seriously.
Or maybe those who associate themselves with Jesus.
Appear to be believers.
Oo, nakita mo na nga eh. Master mo na nga siya eh. Tapos hindi mo pa sineryoso. Nag-abuse ka pa, nagpag-good time ka pa. I think the most severe punishment will be for those. And I think that should be a warning for all of us eh. Na we should take this seriously. Hindi to good time lang. There's accountability. Especially, do not take the name of the Lord your God in vain.
In vain.
Kung dala-dala natin si Jesus as our nameplate, as everybody's looking at us and we are leading people, that's mighty responsibility right there.
Ang bigat pala ng responsibility natin.
Oh man. But yes. So that was intense. But that was the parable of the waiting servants and the wise manager sa Luke 12:35 to 48. Para sa ating listeners, I hope if you were to take one thing here, I think it's really just be prepared.
Yes.
Be prepared.
You have listened to the UCM Interface Bible Study here at 702 DZAS FEBC Radyo TV, Agapay ng Sambayanan. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, 702 DZAS FEBC Radyo TV, and Facebook account, 702 DZAS FEBC Radio. Hear our full episodes on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, at marami pang iba. Join us at Union Church of Manila, Rada, Corno Legazpi, Makati City.